Okay, hey guys, Heidi here, and my friend Stu McLaren, and he's going to be talking all things membership. So, welcome, Stu. Thanks for being here.
I'm always happy to be here with you, Heidi.
Well, I'm excited because we have a lot of artists and creatives who want to start membership sites. And one thing I want y'all to do as you're coming on, please say hi. But I know we're all about artists and creatives on this page, of course. But what's funny, Stu, and I haven't told you this yet, but I was actually, oh, hey, Lori, hey, Jenna, thank y'all for saying hi. I was actually working out. My daughter, as you know, is going to compete in the Miss Texas Teen Pageant. So
Yeah.
she has been working so hard. And we went to the gym, and our person who's helping us, she goes, maybe I should start a membership. And she signed up. Her name's Tammy. And she like listened to your webinar on Sunday. And she's like, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep all night. And I was like, I told you, like, it is crazy. Once you learn this, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Tell us about it a little bit, what they can do and why.
Well, it's funny you say that, Heidi, because my kids last year or this year, they moved to a different school. And the secretary from the kids' old school, she emailed me and she said, I just wanted to let you know that I've been following the workshop this year and I'm so excited. And she said, I've signed up. And she said, but not only did I sign up, she said, but my dad, who's always been an entrepreneur, he was watching alongside with me and he's signing up too. And I think that like once you begin wrapping your head around, what this opportunity makes possible for all of us, like, and I'm thinking like, it's not like something totally new. It's an extension of what we're already doing. This is the biggest lesson that I hope everybody begins to really understand is it's not something completely new where you got to learn a whole different, set of or do a whole different thing. It's an extension of what you're already doing. If you're already an artist, it's about being able to serve other people who may either want to learn the skill that you have built over the years, or it may be serving artists in other ways by providing stencils and templates and things of that nature that make the art that they're doing easier and more convenient. There's all kinds of ways that we can take what we're already doing and just extend it by then creating a membership, which for us as entrepreneurs, it gives us that stability and predictability that we all need in our business. And this is why yesterday, in fact, Heidi, there was a really moving message. I'm looking at my phone because I'm going to bring it up. But it was from a woman named Jessica Hughes, who has been going through the workshop for the first time. And I'm just going to read you the first little bit here. But she said, so I got all teary-eyed today, like a full-on ugly cry. She said, I have 50 founding members. So why the tears? She said, I'm a single mom of 7 kids and I'm an artist. She said, 4 years ago, my whole perfect illusion of an insta-perfect life fell apart. I hit rock bottom. I checked myself into rehab. And then I had a year where I was sorting out an eating disorder. She said, I had to change my whole life, including leaving the toxic marriage and start over with nothing. And then she said, and in September 2020, I started painting again full time. I took the leap to finally follow my passion with no loan and only cash. And I had about a year to make it work. Something about keeping the lights on and the lights of fire and puts someone into action. And then she went on to talk about how, the painting has been, just a breath of fresh air to her. But and now she was so excited about the membership because now 50 founding members. She put the idea out there based on what we taught in the free work. 50 founding members, and this is what gets me so excited because it's once you commit to that next step, it's like momentum starts to build and it opens up doors that we can't even begin to imagine. I mean, remember your journey, Heidi. Your ultimate, goal was 500 members, and then here you are, 2,000 plus. Like we just have to hold the space for that bigger, better, brighter future.
Oh my gosh, that message is so awesome because that's the thing about artists and creatives, and they get stuck in that starving artist mentality. And I remember, always feeling like, I have this story where I had a poster board written on my closet door. We were renting this house. It was like 800 square feet. I was running a booming paint party business as well as selling art kits. It'd be lying down the hall. Like we had no space. We were on top of each other. And I had this poster board that said, I'm going to make $30,000 a month. And my husband was like, I mean, we were not making anywhere near that. I think I was making maybe 2,000 before my paint parties. So my paint parties were helping a lot, but my teaching was not. I was not making any money teaching. And I remember my husband, he never laughed at it. He just always was like, I know she's going to figure it out. Like, I know she's going to figure it out, but I'm not sure how. He didn't know how it would happen. I mean, that just seemed absurd. 30,000 a month. Could you imagine like that coming in on a teacher's salary? And
when most teachers are making that like almost on a year, you know?
My first year teaching was 22,000 a year. So those of y'all that are teachers, I was a teacher for 10 years, and I know your wife was a teacher too. So you totally get that. So I remember just that dream of like, I didn't know why or how. I didn't even know how I was going to get there. I just knew I was going to get there. Like I knew in the pit of my stomach, like I knew it was going to happen. And yeah, like you said, you know, just thinking, oh my gosh, if I had 500 members, that would be top, maxed out, like dreams come true. Everything changed. And now over 2,000 members just in 4 years and under 4 years. And so I think what I want people to know about this, and again, you only have 1 day left for people to join, and you only do this once a year. I mean, and here's the thing. Stu, I mean, I'm sure he'll do this next year, but we don't know people's situations. And I always think when you're looking at an opportunity and you have that nudge, go for it. There's a reason for it. And I'm so glad I did when I did.
Yeah, you know, and one of the things to realize, like yesterday we did a live cast with a number of, you know, alumni who have, you know, come through the program and have launched memberships in a variety of different markets. There were a couple artists on there, Marisa and Bonnie Christine, who's in surface pattern design. But what was interesting was a number of them said the exact same thing, which was that they had participated in the free workshop before, and then they put it off. And then they participated again, and then they put it off. And like Bonnie said, you know, she often looks back and thinks, what if I had, you know, taken action 2 years earlier? Like how further along would I be? And by the way, she had an established membership and she took it from $1,000 a month to $66,000 a month, you know, in just a couple of years. And Marisa was saying the same thing. She said, I was kicking myself because I found the blueprint that I had downloaded like, a couple years prior. And she said, and she was just talking about like taking action on it and how all of a sudden things began to unfold. That again, it's hard to describe. There's no way that you can really fully understand all that is possible until you start moving forward. But none of that can happen until you begin taking that first right next step. And when you're immersed in a community where you're fully supported and the questions that come up, the uncertainty, there's people that have already been there. There's people that can guide you through it. You, Heidi, like, you know, I know how much you love on your people and support them through this process because you've been through this and you love on and shower your people. And this isn't even accounting for myself or our team that are available every single day throughout this whole program. But the bottom line is like trying to piece it together. You can do it yourself, but it just takes time. It takes longer. It's more frustrating and you're always guessing. This, it's like you have the clarity, you have the guidance, and you have the support. And most importantly, you borrow the courage and inspiration of others in the community. And our community is made up of so many artists who are booming. They're thriving in this membership world, and it's incredible. I sometimes, I got to be honest, when I'm sharing stories, I have to sometimes, be intentional about sharing stories that are not artists, because we have so many in our community that are artists. And it's like, I get questions like, is this only work for artists? And I'm like, no. Like I have to be intentional sometimes about sharing stories that are not artists, but I'm sharing that with you because you know that it has worked time and time and time again for people in all kinds of different art markets, whether it's teaching painting, watercoloring, whether it's cartooning, whether it's surface pattern design, whether it's decorative door hangers with Tamara Bennett. Like there's all kinds of different ways in which, art is being utilized and taught inside of memberships. And it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah, that's the reason why I feel like I scream this from the rooftops every year, because it's like, artists, you don't understand, like this is so much fun and so profitable for you. And I think about, in Paint Party headquarters, I teach one segment where I say, okay, in August or September, go ahead and have those next 3 dates ready. And then you do like a special where they pay you one sum, but they're paying for 3 parties in a row. Well, that's like a very small snippet of this, like this is on steroids, right? Like and I think about all these people teaching back-to-back paint parties and they're killing it. But what if they just added this element of, instead of them buying it one time and coming to a paint party, but buying it, they're coming every single month to your paint party, or they're getting your kits every single month. And I want to bring this comment up because I think you can speak to this. Stacy says, I'm sorry I skipped the workshop. And by the way, before you answer this question, would you tell everybody if they do, how they become a part of this? I know my team has the link if you want to put, if you want the link to join, but tell them how they can be like, what is it you're offering? Like, what is it you're offering, how they can be a part of it? And maybe share some light on what Stacy's asking.
Okay. So first and foremost, Heidi's team will post a link. When you click it, you'll see all the information about the program. And essentially, we're taking decades of my experience, literally helping tens of thousands of people in all kinds of different markets. And as I said, a whole lot of artists take what you already know, love, and do, and turn it into recurring revenue with a membership. And we do this and have done this for decades. And as I said, we've gotten very, very, very good at this because we've worked with so many people for so long. And this is my background. I used to have a software company that powered literally 70,000 plus online communities and memberships. So I saw behind the scenes what works when it comes to growing successful memberships. And so we take you through the process of like, okay, I'm not exactly sure what my membership would be. No problem. We help you get the clarity around what it would be, how it would be structured, the type of membership. And then we help you get clarity around the content you're going to provide and how to structure that so that it creates high value for your people, but it's not all consuming for you. And then we also talk about how to market and grow that membership over time so that you go from your founding members to hundreds of members to thousands of members like you are now, Heidi. And even some in our community have now gone on to welcome tens of thousands of members. And so this is a journey. This is not, a one hit. This is not a solution whereby, just by buying it, you're magically going to have like, all this, amazingness. But it is a process that works. And what we do during this program is we walk you through the process so that, yes, you can and will launch your membership. And yes, you will and can have a recurring revenue membership. Now, to speak to Stacy's question about feeling like you're not ready, here's what I would say to that, Stacy. Stacy, I don't know if you have kids, but I often, when my wife and we were thinking about kids, we were always talking to, some peers who were a little bit further down the road, already had kids. And we're like, when did you know that you were ready to have kids? And almost always they would kind of give us the chuckle like, oh, listen, you're never, quote, ready. Like there's never like this point. Like as a parent, you never know what you don't know. You know what I mean? And it's like, so in a similar way, like there's never a moment in time when it comes to launching a membership that you're going to be perfectly ready. And the reason I say that is because we think that with time we'll have, a bigger audience, and therefore with a bigger audience, we're going to have more success. Or we think that with more time, we're going to gain more clarity and we'll know exactly what we're going to provide. Or with more time, we'll create all this content and then we'll be really prepared. But the truth of the matter is with memberships, it's not about time and it's not about being prepared, because the most valuable thing is to use the time. And what I mean by that is when you start working with a group of, even if it's a teeny tiny group of people, in that process is where you learn so much about how to really help the people that you want to serve in your membership. And that informs what content you create. And that creates ultimately tremendous stories. And the stories are the very thing that fuel your progress as a membership site owner. And the reality of it is a membership is going to change over time based on your members' needs. So the sooner you can start working with people, the better, because the better that membership is going to get dialed in, the more stories you begin to create, which is your most powerful marketing asset, and the more confidence you will begin to have in yourself and what you're producing. So listen, there are so many examples of people who have launched memberships with teeny tiny audiences. I think of Rosie, who, she had 40 people on an email list, 70 people on Instagram, and 140 people on Facebook. That by, any standard would not be considered a big audience by any means. And yet she welcomed 18 founding members when she put her idea out there. Or I think of Jackie Grunberg, who had an audience of 440 people. She too welcomed 18 founding members. So you don't need a big audience of tens of thousands or thousands. Heck, just a couple hundred is all you need. And in many cases, you don't even need that. I think of Kelly. She had a teeny tiny audience of 59 people, but 23 of them decided to join her for her membership. And the reason I'm sharing this is because with smaller audiences, you have a unique advantage. You have the advantage of being able to create intimacy. And what that means is that you're going to see and experience much higher conversion rates as you begin putting your idea for your membership out there with your founding member launch, because you're going to be able to interact with people in a much more intimate way that those with bigger audiences, they can't do. So you have a unique advantage with a smaller audience. And my encouragement to you is to use that and to get started sooner rather than later, because momentum happens quickly. And never, ever, ever underestimate what can happen in such a short period of time once you get out of your own way and just get going.
Yeah, and we have a lot of comments, and I'm going to share a few of these. And I think too, what you were talking about with our kids, Pixie's about to start driving. She's about to be 16, freaking out. Anybody have kids on here? Please let us know. Let me know any tips, please. But yeah, I'm kind of freaking out, but that's what I do. I'm going to other people who have already gone that path. Okay, what do we need? Okay, what do we need this? Last night, Pixie's about to be in dual credit. I mean, this girl has a lot of needs, Stu, a lot of needs, and it's taken a lot of my time lately. And so, we're like, what do we do? Oh my gosh. And she's telling me which classes we need. Like, we always go to somebody else who's done it better or first before we start just scrambling around. And I want to speak to Amanda. She says, oh, this one I love so much. And you can answer this one. She says, my fear is that there are so many artists offering their original designs as monthly memberships. Why would they want mine? I know that this is the voice of the enemy. So many fears. Another big one is, can I actually do this? Am I good enough? Oh my gosh. I could speak to that all day, but I'm going to you because they're used to hearing me.
Why don't you go for it? Like, Heidi, speak to that, because you especially as an artist, can speak to that. And I definitely have thoughts on this for sure, but go for it.
Yeah, I'll make mine quick so you can so they can hear from your wisdom. But oh my gosh, I always talk about the bread aisle and how when you go to the grocery store and you look at the bread aisle, there are like 1,000 types of bread. And not everybody is for me. I mean, I've had literally people send like, I don't like the voice. I don't like your voice. Or, could you stop talking? And, just some people are not going to want to learn from me. Just like the same reason they're not going to learn from me is the same reason they're going to want to learn from you. And y'all, I keep blinders on. If we sit here and compare ourselves to every artist out there, we will just be stuck in like a social media like hole, and we will never get out or never do anything. So honestly, I keep blinders on. I hit my button to go live and I do what I know I was supposed to do. And I think if you stop, and I have a sign where I say, like, you are enough, you're worthy. I used to not believe that at all. I used to not believe I was worthy of any of this success. I mean, I've talked openly about going to my therapist and, her actually saying, like, if somebody was to give you a gift and you would just say, no, I don't want that gift. Well, that's how success has been. Finally, after all the struggle, because I know y'all on here, we go through struggle. We're comfortable with struggle. And then success happens and we're like, oh, wait, that doesn't feel right. Like, I'm not supposed to have success. And you think of it as a gift that's been given to you. And how dare us, if Stu is to give me a gift, I go, no, thanks. That's good. But then now in my case, I feel like God has given me this gift of success. Why would I not be thankful for the gifts that he's given me instead of feeling like I'm unworthy? So I think there's a lot of that I definitely went through over the past few years. And now I'm like, oh, okay, thank you, God. Like, that's real cool, and then I go back to that instead of, no, I don't deserve it. And I end up all anxious about it. And I think a lot of that is, internal work of feeling worthy and knowing that you're worth it and that you're doing what you're supposed to do. So let's let you share, because I could go all day.
Well, and I think the reason you're passionate about it, Heidi, is the same reason that I'm passionate about it, because too many dreams never get realized, not because they failed, but because doubt was the thing that held them back from ever getting started. Right. And I, when I think about, artists, like, what if every artist held on to that belief that, well, why would I put my art out into the world? There's already been another artist who has done a painting. Well, if that were the case, then, like, we wouldn't have, a fraction of the beauty that we have in this world. Because, and I think about, like, all musicians coming up. I think about this often. Like, what if somebody said, well, no, there's already, like, a rock and roll song. Oh, no, there's already country songs. Like, I mean, why would I create anything new? Like, it's already, no, this is such an amazing time that we live in, that we get to reach so many people from all around the world. One of the things that was so humbling for me during our most recent live broadcast, in the chat, people were saying where they were from. And I started taking notes on, like, all the different countries. In just a 10-minute period, when I was writing down, before we got started, there were over 26 different countries from all around the world. And I'm sharing this because now we're not limited in terms of who we can reach. Mm-hmm. And to your point, Heidi, it creates an opportunity where there are going to be people that don't resonate with who we are. Similar, Heidi, I've been told that I am too positive. This gentleman told me, he said, I don't want to do business with you, Stu, because you're too positive. And I said, okay, like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I am not going to be negative. Positivity is in my, it's in my DNA. That's my number one strength on StrengthsFinder. So sorry, that's who I am. I see the better, the glass is half full. And I'm okay with that, because I also know that there are a lot of people who do need that positive energy, who do resonate with that perspective, who do buy into, and because of that, I can serve them at the highest level. And so what I would say, I think it was Amanda who had that question, is that you can do this. And one of the things that I want you to realize is that do not put your pressure on yourself that this has to work. And if it doesn't work the first time, then everything's going to come crashing down. That's like saying, if you don't paint the perfect painting the very first time you start painting, then you should never be an artist. We know that's not the case. We know that, painting and learning to become it takes time, because it's a craft that we continuously work on. And so what I want you to think about is that a business is very much like a painting. We've got a blank canvas. And when we start, we're experimenting. We're trying different strokes. We're trying different colors. We're trying different combinations. And in the midst of that, we begin to discover our style. We begin to discover, what we're creating and how beautiful it's going to be. And we give ourselves the opportunity to be able to serve a whole lot of people. The other thing that I would say is a piece of advice that I got from a friend and mentor of mine years ago. I was about to go deliver a presentation to the biggest audience I'd ever spoken in front of in Brazil. And it was 4,500 people. And I was nervous and I was getting all worked up. And I was getting fearful about like actually getting on the stage and trying to present with an interpreter and all this stuff.
Wow.
And she pulled me aside and she said, Stu, where is all this coming from? And I said, well, I'm nervous that I'm not going to be able to, that the interpreter's not going to be able to interpret. I don't know if my jokes are going to land and blah, 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 blah. She's like, Stu, stop. She's like, you're worrying about you. She said, if you shift that energy and you focus on the people that you're about to serve, all that fear and anxiety just disappears.
Yeah.
And it was a game-changing moment for me because I realized it wasn't about me. What I was about to go and deliver to this audience was for them. It was to serve them. It was to help them. And I know with 100% confidence that in doing so, it was going to change the lives of some of those people in that audience in a significant way. And if I just focused on that, all would take care of itself. And that's exactly what happened. And so what I would say to everybody is don't focus on you. Focus on those that you're about to serve, those that you're about to help with what you're going to teach inside of that membership and how it will transform their lives. And we know how important art is and how calming it is and how soothing it is and how meditative it is in so many different regards and how much the world needs that right now more than ever. So think about those that you're about to serve and all of those fears will begin to disappear.
Oh my gosh. I love all of that. And y'all know as artists on here, it's therapy. And when the pandemic happened and started, it was like toilet paper and art supplies. That were the two things that were gone. So you're in a good space. And the last thing I just want to say, one of our members here that actually started a membership, and she has over 300 members now. She said she almost didn't start her online business because I wasn't as fun as you, Heidi. And I thought, oh my gosh, here she is now. She almost stopped because she thought I was like, she wasn't as fun as me. And I'm like, well, I know I'm fun, but now she has over 300 members because she got through that fear.
Because everybody resonates with people for different reasons. And once you identify that, you can lean into that. And that becomes, the entry point for, being able to serve a whole lot of people that resonate with you.
Yeah. Exactly. So congratulations, Leah, on your over 300 members.
That's amazing.
I'm so glad you did not stop. Like, y'all, don't listen to those fears. If you feel like this is for you, type, I want to know more, or type the word membership experience. And then we will get you the link so you can sign up. And then when's the deadline, Stu?
So the deadline is tomorrow evening. So Thursday, April 28th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the reason we have a deadline is because then our team just, we shut down in terms of promotion mode, and then we flip a switch and we are all in to serve you and love on you during the entirety of this program. So we don't do any other things other than just, love on you, support you, and help you. That's why, there is a deadline, because we shift as a company just to focus on the delivery and supporting you in this program. So tomorrow evening, April 28th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is the deadline.
Awesome. So if you want to know more, just put, yes, I want to know more. And my team will get you the link so you can be a part of the membership experience. I promise you will not regret it. Think of it as like taking a college course and just go all in and invest in your future. I'm excited for you. Thanks so much, Sue, for being here. I know you got another meeting, so I'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.